Oh, my goodness. I almost want to do it just for the name. So I'm going to do it just for the name. Adrian! You've probably heard that your entire life. I'm so sorry. You're talking to Eric and Jenna. How's it going?
Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard that one.
Hi, Adrian. At least we're original.
Thank you. Just thank you. Adrian, what would you like to talk about today, other than my absolute lack of creativity?
No, I just wanted to talk about what I believe and why. And
Cool.
I spoke to you before the last time, Eric. I don't know if you remember talking to me. I called in, gave the. It's kind of like that last caller, just not as mean, but like the courtroom analogy.
Uh-huh.
And then I just give the evidence, though, is more scientific and like the moon and DNA and the tilt of the earth.
Yeah, he went into prophecy, and then he was like, "You don't do this," and I was like, "Whoa, dude, you don't know me at all. Like, ask me." I mean, wouldn't the honest thing be to ask, like, so that we're on the same page before just accusing? That was rough.
Yeah, it's probably Father's Day something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Even in my debate with David Wood, I stopped and I was like, "Do you believe this? I don't want to put words in your mouth." Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm talking shit about somebody who's not even on the air, and that's not a nice thing for me to do. Adrian, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I apologize on behalf of believers out there for that last caller, but yeah, I just give the evidence, like the tilt of the earth and the plate tectonics and the ozone layer and the magnetic field and the position of Jupiter, which protects us from incoming asteroid strikes. Mm-hmm. And there's just a lot of evidence that looks to be design. And I think you were saying that, things can, nature can sometimes just give the appearance of design.
Mm-hmm.
And not even that, some of them are a stretch. So, like, if we want to talk about, plate tectonics and that kind of stuff, that's just how physical things interact with each other. That's just the fact of our Earth. Adding more onto that would actually require more evidence. So, the example that I gave in the past I don't think was a good one because it was about morality and it always devolved. So I'm going to try a different example, and that is gravity. Let's say you're dropped onto this planet and you let go of something and it falls to the ground, and you're like, okay, this is a thing that happens. When I drop something, it falls to the ground. I don't know why it happens. I know that it happens. And now it's up to me to explore and find out why it happens, right?
Right.
And so we see these phenomena, such as the tilt of the earth, the complexity of DNA, and all of these things that you just described. And we see that it happens, and now we're asking why it happens. And some of them, we've got some amazing explanations. And I'm sure you've looked it up, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
and you don't exactly need to know, like, why it happens. You just need to know, like, what are the possibilities of that?
Totally. I don't need to know how my car works to be able to drive my car, right?
But it can be helpful when you need to work on it.
Yeah, but it's not like you had to sit me down and to show me how internal combustion engines work so that I'd be able to understand how to drive a car.
Well, but that's what I mean, is to use that analogy to apply it to our own lives. I don't necessarily need to know how I'm functioning to function.
Right. But
it's helpful.
Or like if you didn't know, if you saw a car that it didn't have the maker on it or who made it or anything like that, and this is your first time seeing a car, you could still make that determination that the car was designed by somebody without actually knowing.
Maybe not right away. If you've never seen a car before, maybe, it's not safe to jump to assumptions right away. Give it a sec, look at it before you come to any conclusions.
In this example, it would be as if I was dropped onto an alien planet and I saw like a mound of blurb.
Right.
And I don't know if somebody's going to get into that blurb and fly it away or if it's just always been there, So, not necessarily. But I really quickly want to just finish up the point that I was making. I was kind of drawing a circle around this, And that was, it sounds, I bet we could go in and you can describe how a lot of these forces and how a lot of the physics operates in our universe. And it's a wonderful and exciting thing to do. And regardless of your conclusions, look into it because it's awesome. But there's a story that strikes me here. And I've heard that it was debunked, and it breaks my heart, but it still is a good one. And it's the story of Laplace and Napoleon. And Laplace had written a book that described how the heavenly bodies moved across the night sky and the orbits of the planets, essentially, right, around the sun. And so you have Laplace, who was called in by Napoleon because in all of these models and all of the math, it's beautiful. It's incredibly intricate. And Napoleon calls him in and says, Laplace, this is amazing, but where's God in your model? I'm looking at it and I see their orbits and I see how they're interacting with each other, but where's God? And Laplace famously says, God's not needed.
Yeah, it works perfectly fine without it, right?
Yeah.
And then, but
so we kind of have to see where God is first to be able to, do that. Otherwise, we've got the God of the gaps things. But you let me talk a lot.
Laplace forgot. Yeah, what Laplace was forgetting though is that there's only two options, right? It's just God or no God. So that is one of the options is God. So, so
is Peter Pan.
If you don't know all your options, you could make a wrong choice if you don't know what all your options are.
You're close. I'd love to correct that just a little bit because I know where you're going with this. And so just to help you in the future, you have infinite options, but in the statement, God or no God, that's a binary, right? So you have A, which is the statement, a God exists. The negation of that statement.
A creator God. Remember, we're not discussing any specific gods until after we've proven a creator God, because we may not even need to get into those other gods. We could save a whole lot of time if we could just prove that there is no creator God.
But I would argue that a creator God is a subset of a God, right? Because then you
know, specific God.
Can I define a God that's not a creator?
So that.
Right.
A creator God is an option,
yes,
but also nature is an option too.
Well, but we're talking about any God.
There's two options.
Well, hold on. What I'm saying is the negation is not a God exists. So it's A or not A. Not A doesn't carry information. It's just the negation of the statement. And so when you're giving a binary, it's either one thing or the other, then if you want to really give that binary, it's going to be a God exists or not a God exists. But what you said is you need to know all of your options. And when you do that, it's no longer a binary. We can come up with a whole bunch of wacky stuff.
There's only two options, and you need to know those two options.
Well, that's why I'm trying to help your language here, so that I don't know why I'm trying to help, but I'm trying to help. I want you to be the better person no matter where you go with it. So there are more than two options.
You're my hero.
You need way higher standards,
Thank you.
sir.
No, he's my hero too.
I will say that I learned a lot of logic and reason from watching these atheist shows. That's something that I did not learn from religion, and I thank y'all for that, and and I thank God really for logic and reason also.
We've got to get there first. I would actually, I agree with the former statement and not the latter.
But you know what? Keep thinking about why.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the binary I think is something that I'd really like to leave you with, because unfortunately we're getting low on time, and I know we just had a whole bunch of fun and didn't get to the thing you wanted to talk about, and I'm sorry for that. I hope that you can call back and we can jump in. But if there's anything that we can take away from this, it's that in logic, you have three laws, right? Identity, non-contradiction, I was going to end on my middle finger. Wasn't going to do that. Excluded middle, right? And if we can do those things, then we can figure out a whole lot. If you want to talk about other options, I'd be happy to. It's just may not be comfortable. It may not fit into the narrative that you're thinking, but call back and I'd love to be able to have that conversation in 2 weeks. Or you can talk to Jamie next weekend.
All right. Well, now you know why I believe and what I believe, and just wanted to let you know.
Adrian.
You're awesome.
Way more than that. I want to dive into that head of yours and learn all about you. So call back, okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you for calling.
Take care, brother.
All right. God bless.
Oh, come on. He didn't...
Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
No, you know what? As nice as he was, I'm sure that's just like reaction.
It could be.
In my mind, he said, God bless, and hung up and went, ooh, I bet you that was unconsidered. Okay.
Oh, well.
Nah, it's okay.
It is what it is.